All right, so today I am back at my brother's shop and we are gonna work on Sue. I'm gonna take care of a couple of small projects. I gotta change the windshield wiper motor because if you saw in the overlanding video, the first one we did, the windshield wipers were not working, so I gotta figure that out. We're also gonna do some other upgrades to the Jeep that are gonna make it way more off-road worthy without changing its look. So sort of sleeper off-road kind of stuff. I know that sounds weird, but you'll understand soon when I get to it. And we're also going to be doing some modifications to the tiny overland trailer. Beav is going to be working on that because that's going to require some technical skills that I just do not have in the terms of welding and things like that. But that's going to be a very cool project, so stay tuned and see all the things we're going to do. Oh, and did I mention that we have like 48 hours to get all this stuff done, so it's crunch time and we got to get to work. All right, so in order to do the windshield wiper motor, the first thing I've actually got to do is fold down the windshield on the Jeep. The windshield wiper motor is actually mounted right underneath the driver's side portion of the windshield. Pulling the windshield down used to not be overly complicated. All I had to do was undo a couple of bolts and fold it down. Now with the whip antenna and with the light bar, it's a little trickier. But anyway, I got to get this windshield down, and I got to do it carefully so I don't bust the lights on my hood.
The old motor had stopped working, so this was a much needed fix. It took a little fiddling to get the old motor out and the new motor back in, but with a little patience and the removal of a clip, I had the old motor out and the new motor in fairly quickly.
All right, so the new windshield wiper motor is installed. Wasn't too hard, just a couple things to figure out that were sort of unique to my situation in terms of getting the old motor out and the new motor in, and some parts that stayed together that shouldn't have stayed together, and some parts that didn't want to stay. Yeah, anyway, I figured it out, but we got it together. Let's go test them out, make sure they work, but I'm super excited about it. And while I've been busy working on the Jeep, Beav has been working on the trailer here, and I'll show you kind of what he's doing. He's welding things to the trailer.
I'm making it worse.
He's making it better, man. You're making it way better. Super excited about it. So the awning that we're installing on the trailer is a 4.5-foot awning from Ironman 4x4. It's the same company that Beav has used for most of his Land Cruiser builds. So if you haven't checked out his super sick 1995 Land Cruiser build, you've got to check that out. I'll link to it up here and you can check out some of the things that he's doing with that. The reason we're building all this stuff out is because pretty soon we're going to be going on a really awesome trip called the SCAR, which is the South Carolina Adventure Route. It's 1,100 miles of rural dirt road, forestry road, mud, sand, gravel, all that kind of stuff. Multi-day camping overland trip, so we're just getting all the stuff ready for that, but it's going to be a really awesome adventure and I'm super excited about it. And I'm really excited about this awning to give some shelter and protection from rain and the sun and all that kind of stuff, give us a nice space to hang out. So super excited that Beav is doing this for me.
So what I'm building is a telescoping system that'll give us an adjustable height. So we've got a larger tube at the bottom with a slightly smaller diameter tube that'll go inside of that, so it'll allow it to go up and down. And we figured out at the down position it'll be the same height as the tent, which will also allow him to put the cover on the tent. It'll slide back in behind here and be able to, you know, strap the cover down, etc. And then when he gets to camp, he gets things set up, he'll be able to release some sort of travel pins and then slide this thing up, and when it gets to position, it'll automatically lock into position. I'll have 7 feet of head clearance there, and he'll be able to still have some slope so you can get rainwater to run off of it. I'd still have probably 6 feet on the far end of it to walk under it. So I'm just sort of getting some things tacked up, getting things square so that both of these go up and down smoothly together. And we're just getting started. But then you can pull that pin out when it gets to camp, lock that sucker in. Pull the other side, drop down into go mode, and then when you get there, bingo bango. Cool, huh? Okay, next step. Now that we've proved that this works, I've got to finish welding that bar in place, and then we've got to add some angle iron, like brackets, tabs type things, so that we have something to actually mount the awning to. And then we'll cap some things off, finish weld it, and get it painted and move on to the next project. Oh, you know what else we could do? We could weld some tabs or hooks. Maybe hooks would be better, but then you could hang gear, or gear bags or whatever. You hook it on there like that, or a shower, or whatever. But you got some good high storage too.
Well, good morning. It is now day 2. We're going to get the Jeep up on the lift. Beav is going to finish doing his magic to the trailer, and I'm going to start, well, doing the things that I've got to do to the Jeep, which includes sway bar disconnects. We're going to do the Cad Vac Delete, and a couple other little things that we got to get done, and that should be it. We've got about 8 hours to get it all finished up before I have to get back on the road and back to Columbia, so a lot of things to do and relatively not a lot of time to do it. Alright, so I'm going to be installing the Teraflex quick disconnect sway bar end links, and basically what they're going to do is replace the factory end links, and this is the basic of the system. And the pins will be on it like this, and I'll be able to just pull them off. And when I do, I'll have a sway bar disconnect. It'll give me a little bit more flex on the trail, which is what we're going for, but it won't change the physical appearance of the Jeep, so it's something that's going to improve its off-road capability without changing any of the aesthetics, which is exactly what I'm hoping for. Now, I've never done this, so this is not a tutorial, but you're gonna see me do it, because that's what we do here.
Removing the old end links started off well enough, but getting the old end links out of the sway bar was a huge challenge. I started with a hammer, but ultimately needed an air hammer on both sides.
Wow. So getting those end links out were way harder than I thought. I've watched a bunch of videos on YouTube and everyone just sort of pops them out and stuff, but I think the reality is I'm really glad that I took it to my brother's shop where we have the right tools in the lift, because trying to do this on my own at my house would have been an absolute nightmare trying to get those off. They were on. It took an air hammer and a lot of pressure from that air hammer to get those off, but you can see the old ones here. Look at that. They are nice and toast. So I'm glad I'm replacing them. Even if I was just replacing them with regular sway bar end links, I think it'd be time to replace those. So this is a quality upgrade. So we are struggle bussing here. The lower thread stud is not going over the threaded support where the original sway bar is connected.
I mean, it's like hitting those threads, but it just doesn't want to start. Like, it doesn't feel to me like there's, I think the threads are hitting, but they're not starting. Like, we need to run a tap through and clean up the threads.
This is not the easy project that I was hoping it was going to be, or that I've seen it be on other channels. So of course I'm glad I'm not doing this alone in my garage. But yeah, so we're going to have to do some modifications, I think. I don't know if this is typical of the Teraflex or if this is just unique to me. It seems to always be unique to me. But anyway, we're gonna see if we can figure out a solution to get these things mounted.
I have to say, I wasn't overly happy with the quality control of the Teraflex products. From having to tap the studs to washers being the wrong size, if we didn't have the tools to fix their mistakes, it would have created a real headache for someone who was doing it in their garage. But once it was all finished and installed, I'm happy with the new functionality. Oh, and they could really use some better instructions too, and maybe add some photos.
All right, so this is a great visual of why I'm doing the end links. If you look here, this tire is hanging now dramatically lower than this tire is when we took off the sway bar end links. So now this one has a lot more flex than this one, and when you see them in its entirety side by side, you really see it.
Next up was doing the Cad Vac Delete. Essentially, this is a kit for eliminating the need for a vacuum system to engage the four-wheel drive by permanently connecting the two parts of the axle shaft on the passenger side. Usually this also results in the loss of the four-wheel drive indicator light on the dash, but we have a workaround for that as well. If you're interested, I did a very detailed tutorial on exactly how to do this install, and I'll link it in the description below.
So all we should have to do is put the 4x4 selector into 4 high or 4 low, and we should see the indicator light show up on the dash. And boom, there it is.
While I finished with the Cad, Beav was finishing up the trailer and applying some new paint.
All right, I am absolutely stoked at how the trailer came out. This awning is going to be amazing when we go on our overland adventures. The ability to raise it up, these little hooks that we've got here that we can hang things on, the molly panels here that we can attach our axes, shovels, action tracks, all that kind of stuff. It's just a super upgrade to have. If you're interested in more about the specifics of this build, Beav has a whole video going through all the things that he did to fabricate this, so I will link to that. And if you haven't already checked out Beav's channel, it's awesome. He does a lot of stuff with his Land Cruiser, and he's building that up for our overland adventures as well. Check his channel out. But I'm so excited to get this thing on the trails. Man, this is great. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much going to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. We got so much done to the Jeep this weekend and so much done to the trailer. Man, just all kinds of stuff, but we are nice and toasted. We are tired, so we're going to call it quits here. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a lot. If you haven't already, subscribe. And if you're interested in doing the Cad Vac Delete, I have an entire video that is just a tutorial on exactly how to do that, and I will link it right here for you or in the description below. But anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.